So Russia has extensively used disinformation and election interference as tools of hybrid war to destabilize NATO allies and to undermine democratic processes. Could you comment on how Russian disinformation campaigns have targeted public opinion in democratic societies, particularly regarding support for Ukraine, and what measures should we be looking at to strengthen resilience to these narratives? And you could also maybe comment on what democratic governments can proactively do to protect their electoral processes for these kinds of interference. Mr. Weiss, I'll start with you.
Sure. Well, I think disinformation goes hand in hand with human intelligence operations. So all of the acts of sabotage and state terrorism, we should call it what it is, that I've alluded to, are designed in a kind of heads I win, tails you lose scheme. So heads I win. They managed to blow up weapons manufacturing plants, ammunition depots, anything that's involved in security assistance to Ukraine. That's a net positive for the Russians. Tails you lose, even if they fail, we're sat here talking about acts of state terrorism on European soil. It's scary stuff. It makes populations nervous. It makes them paranoid. And this is designed, it's sort of baked into the cake, if you like, to lower and weaken Western support for Ukraine. In fact, I can tell you, a lot of European countries are very reluctant to come forward with the full scale and scope of these operations that have been unmasked because of that fact. They're worried that their population simply will say it's time to give up on Kyiv. Enough is enough. In terms of election interference, look, I think the Department of Justice did, and the Department of State actually, in the last few weeks have done very admirable efforts in disclosing these influence operations, which not only have gone after Russian intelligence officers embedded in their state media apparatus, RT, but have also kind of implicitly acknowledged that Americans have been recruited to purvey these influence operations in exchange for exorbitant sums of money. I mean, I've been a podcaster in the past, and I wish somebody would give me $400,000 per episode or YouTube video or whatever. Look, I think my esteemed fellow testifier from Estonia, the Estonians have done a superb job, not just at counterintelligence, but at pushing back on Russian influence operations. And one thing they do, and it's a little bit controversial, is every year their internal security service puts out an annual review. Every year, by the way, they catch at least 1 or 2 Russian spies. Other countries in Europe catch 0 per year. So either the Russians are spying only in Estonia or other counterintelligence agencies aren't doing a very good job. But they also name and shame people that they know are coming to Estonia to peddle these lines, to push a pro-Kremlin narrative exactly designed to weaken democratic resolve, weaken support for Ukraine, et cetera, et cetera. I think our government could be doing a lot better, simply in terms of acting as a clearinghouse from an intelligence point of view of what we know the Russians are up to, but aren't necessarily criminal acts in the United States.
Mr. Torrey, would you also please comment on this and what you've seen in your country and what more we should be doing to build resilience against these disinformation, misinformation campaigns?
Thank you very much. Actually, my co-testimony giver, Mr. Weiss, already mentioned many important things, but it may seem a bit naive, but we have found the best weapon against disinformation to be open and straightforward communication, to really talk about the issues that divide the public opinion, but do it in an open and transparent way, and public attribution to those that are trying to peddle the stories and lies that diminish the public trust to government institutions. So open and straightforward communication.
Thank you very much. So shining light on the disinformation, pointing it out as a key strategy, I'm hearing you say. Mr. Schmidt, I just have a couple seconds left, but if I'd welcome anything you'd like to add.
Yeah, I'll just say that when we think about disinformation and we talk about sabotage and all of these sort of different elements of Russia's hybrid war, this is all one thing for the Kremlin. They use a multidisciplinary, multispectral approach where they connect to sabotage with disinformation. And I think on the Baltic Connector sabotage front, where we saw the Chinese flag vessel New Polar Bear with Russian ownership, escorted by the Russian nuclear-powered Arctic-class container ship Sevmorput, basically break all of these cables and pipelines. The Finns and the Estonians were amazing at their strategic communications to get ahead of Kremlin narratives that would have stoked fear and gone outside of what we've seen in open source intelligence, commercial satellite data, and AIS tracking, and they released this early and often. We didn't see that in the Nord Stream case, and we have certainly not seen this in the case of many of these other sabotage incidents over the summer.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.